Hello everyone. In this short clip, I would like to explain the property about angles of polygons. Let's start with some revisions about angles of triangles, right? So in any triangle, if you look at the angles, the three angles here, the sum of the angles should be equal to 180 degrees. No matter what the shape of the triangle is, that means even the individual angles may vary, right? The total sum of these three angles would be the same. So this is what we know about the angle sum of triangle. Then how about quadrilaterals? Okay, so a quadrilateral has four angles. And would the sum of the four angles always be the same? Right? No matter how we change the shape or how we change the angles. Let's a look of some special case. For example, if you make a quadrilaterals like this, which is basically a rectangle or square, okay. So probably you will know that the four angles are right angles, and so you will see that the sum is equal to 360 degrees. So which is more than 100, not 180, but 360 degrees. But if you change one of this vertex, okay, then will the sum of the angles remain the same? Okay, that means will it always be the same, 360 degrees? All right. So in order to answer this, in fact, we may go back to the properties of triangle. In order to do so, maybe you can divide the quadrilaterals into two parts. Okay, now you can see two triangles. And so if you want to find the sum of the four angles, it's the same as to find the sum of all these angles inside the two triangles, okay? And we know already that the three angles inside one triangle is 180 degrees. And another three angles in another triangle is also 180 degrees. So if you add all the angles of these triangles together, it's the same as adding all the angles of the quadrilaterals together. And so it should be 360 degrees. That means twice the 180 degrees. And so maybe we can conclude that for all quadrilaterals, no matter what the shapes is, the sum of the four angles will be equal to 360 degrees. Actually, we can also move on to think about what happens to a pentagon, okay? So we see that a pentagon has 5 angles, okay? So if you add all the 5 angles together, would you expect that there will be a particular sum, okay? That means the total, would it be the same no matter how you change, how you vary the size of the pentagon? And in order to answer this, again, you can also divide it into polygon, but this time you may need 2 diagonals like this in order to divide it into 3 triangles. And then you will see that the original 5 angles of the pentagons are actually these combinations of the 3 angles of the 3 triangles, okay? All these angles of the 3 triangles together. And so if the sum of 3 angles in the triangles is 180 degrees, then the sum of all the 5 angles of the pentagons will be 3 times 180 degrees, which should be 540 degrees. Okay, so actually you can go on to check maybe individual pentagon and then try to see whether the sum of the angles will give you this total. And now, well, up to this point, perhaps you can go on to think about hexagon, which should have 6 angles, okay? Then actually for a hexagon, the sum of the angles will be 720 degrees. Maybe you can try to find out why, okay, using the previous method, try to think about whether in every hexagon, 6 angles will give a sum of 720 degrees. And after knowing or studying all these different polygons with different number of sides and number of angles, okay, and probably you will see that the sums will have a particular total, right, in each case. And maybe you can go on to think about a polygons with more sides. For example, 10 angles and 10 sides, we call it a decagon. So what do you think would be the sum of the angles of a decagon, right? So without drawing a diagram, can you make a guess, right, Of course, later on, you can also try to make a sketch and then try to check whether your guess is correct or not. Okay, so we maybe for the time being, we finish the